Теперь мы знаем, что делаем. Берем. Ну, так само можно веб-камеру. Где-то, если стационарные, там, у меня нормальная была камера с хорошим разрешением, в принципе, при хорошей скорости, можно тоже использовать. Перестроил и запускаю.
А если с телефона просто, например, на YouTube сюда и так?
Ну, я пробовал, у меня не получается. Посмотри, получается, мы копируем вот эту, да, ссылочку. Теперь... Скрин-тест. Ты видишь, вставляем сюда. Вот, теперь, ну, сюда, допустим, какую-то фотку, там, текст, то есть, а... Так, мы сохраняем, делаем видео. Сейчас мы вот это перечислили $80, там он закупает плагины. Ну, зайди на этот самый.
Вот они меня позвали, дай мне затрогать.
Вспомни, хрена, такой был, что купить черный. Очень много было сахара. Сутки не спал, еще и здесь поймать. Это сахар замирает.
Это я, может быть, лимит, решение не посчитаю.
А что тут сколько сахара? Пока еще не было, хотя может быть.
Видишь, сколько сахара есть? Я заметил, что сильно ударяют у себя.
Да ты что там сидят, ты еще сидят там?
Вообще как-то с телефона говорить.
Ну, я не знаю, что
Да я пробую, у меня не получилось.
Зашить туда тоже не
Ну, конечно. Видишь? Что это такое? Открываем трансляцию, да, мы сейчас тестируем. А куда ты тестируешь? Надеюсь, как YouTube.
Нет, это сейчас...
Вот. Тут еще башня. Башню уже поставили. Это еще было где-то 19 года. Все, видео, лазер стоят, тут сенсоры стоят, он может сбивать беспилотники, он может сбивать вертолеты, там сумасшедший мотор, там броня серьезная. Серьезные вещи, две пушки, это все внутри, там все, сидишь в кабине, все плазма, все везде такие мониторы. Шлем, который одеваешь, шлем, значит, шлем ты можешь вести пользоваться. Такие вещи.
Послушай, а сколько он находится?
Да.
Коробки?
И 5 ты сейчас позвонишь, пока не пригласишь,
Мы можем начать из планшета делать такую самую трансляцию. Просто этот сигнал мне надо, чтобы ты зашел. Так что планшет видно. Настроился. И мы... Мне кажется, там оно какое-то несложное. Я через YouTube выиграл. Я сейчас тебе дам эти все пароли. Сейчас мы это делаем. Мы идем на человек года. Там. А где он будет проходить? Куда тебе скинуть? Я тогда и на сайт скину, и на. Смотри, вот это вот. Видишь, вот это пароль на почте, вот это наша пароль, а это... Ну что тут, понимаешь, что тут все равно, я туда уже столько насчет этого проекта думаю, ну, сколько я туда вложу. А там реально сейчас нам надо настроить, и денег не заработать. Потому что я в Ютубе смотрел, такого нету. Как тебя здесь найти? Что там забыл? Прям такой представительный.
Слушай, это вообще нормально, не надолго хватит. Ну что-то мы вроде бы недавно вставили, вот любимых вещей.
Да, его давно на самом деле заправляют.
Паспортов, доверенности, лицензии, ничего.
Ну, скан-копии делаете, шиноли. Просто отбеляйте его, да, там в самих настройках, когда это. Это 1,5 пачки. У Семенова, он же по этим, ну давай.
Да, ты говоришь, да, потом нет.
Ты что, я не против, просто сегодня я так устала, я хочу отдохнуть. Я уже такой с этим.
Ладно, давай тогда завтра.
Хорошо. Да, днем. Всем хорошо. Нет, снимать тут задачу пришили с телефона вообще замечательно. Не надо ничего запрягаться.
Так, а что тут там настройка видеокода? Видеокода. Серия.
Я не знаю, я тут как-то включился, он сразу говорит.
Chris Phillips, last practical as we approach so many people got their
Может быть, мобильную версию там по-другому
Да я
надо.
вспомнил.
Ну, после 5 часов. После 5. Ну, смотрите сами.
We have learned as a result of the attack in Glasgow. It's very difficult now to get your vehicle close to the cinema. To stop that from happening again, an attack like that. So what we can think of is the UK has done a learning from bad experiences, but learning from things that happen in different parts of the world. It may well be that at some stage in the future, if this type of attack happens again, that as you're going into when you're going through the middle of it, it may have to change again. We must continue to learn from our experiences, but this could happen in the UK. Let's just hope that security services are on hand. Yes, and I mean, so much about that they find it very difficult to operate. What do people try to achieve by this attacks? They're trying to communicate to the public questions arise about topics about why they do it. Is it connected to some sort of policy check? This isn't spasmodic violence, just desiring to kill those who they want to achieve ends. And if this does prove to be a plot to Islamic State Daesh,
Что тут за напрямую это самое сразу?
А, не надо, чтобы мне...
А я потом...
Thanks for getting Chris Phillips as well. Let's bring it right today what's happened. Two explosions took place in the departure of Brussels airport, killing up to 14 people and injuring 35. Police discovered an undisclosed bomb belt at the airport and a crash of arrival flights being cancelled. Shortly after those attacks, the third explosion in the metro station. That's near to some of the major administration buildings. 20 people killed in that attack. 5. Well, speaking about the attacks, the Belgian Prime Minister said this is a dark moment for our nation. We need calm and solidarity. He added the authorities are worried there could be more attacks. All public transport systems in Brussels are closed at the moment. Near the Foreign Office says UK citizens in Brussels should avoid crowded areas. The Prime Minister has chaired a meeting with the government's emergency committee and said the threat level remains at severe. Police forces across the UK have increased their presence at key locations. Skies Ian Woods now reports.
Those who survived the explosion lay cowering on the ground, afraid in case there were more blasts to come. What it was? A gun or was it terrorist? Closer to where the bombs have been detonated, bodies of debris covered the floor of the airport terminal. Moments earlier, men, women, and young children have been checking in for their flights. Pushchairs and luggage were abandoned in the dust and paper. Outside, people were running for their lives. There were reports of shouting in Arabic immediately prior to the twin blasts. There were immediate reports
Ну,
of
смотри.
the number of dead is due to rise steadily over the next 2 hours.
Где наша Анечка загуляла?
Вот без нее же не можно.
Не получается?
Ты что там, отправил?
Да, это прям. Живи.
Слышишь, что ты не уже?
М?
Что, блядь?
Прям как это было.
Sky correspondent Alex Rossi and his colleagues were in the departure lounge preparing to board a flight.
Так он все сейчас эти мировые и все через Google стримят, блин. И мне так, блин, чем...
Да,
А?
похуй.
4 days after Belgian anti-terrorism officials were congratulating themselves on the arrest of the country's most wanted man, the main suspect behind the gun and suicide bomb outrage in Paris, Brussels was now under attack. We have a big name. Everybody crying. Here on YouTube, so kind of smoke, you know. So the shop people went on, so no, it's nothing urgent. It was a very loud explosion. Yes, it was very loud. It was not something that fell on the ground or something like that.
Кого?
Я не знаю.
Где это?
Я считаю, что это премьерно в этом сезоне благотворительный продажи глаза. Это самая большая киевская парковка, которая как раз стабилизирует молодых континентов, а также город.
Так а где это вот?
This time at Melvik metro station, close to European Union offices. There was soon evidence of casualties there too, as the emergency services responded to 2 major incidents in different parts of the city. All metro stations throughout the Belgian capital were closed as a precaution. Images of
Да,
passengers
детки
in
маленькие.
the dark underground tunnel rekindle memories of the 7/7 attacks in London.
Malbec, where the explosion took place. We heard a loud muffled thud, and a lot of kind of dust was raised up in the down by the tracks. Some panic kind of set in, so people started to rush out the metro station very quickly, and they were met by soldiers at the top of the stairs who immediately evacuated the place.
Back at the airport, passengers had been herded at the terminal for their own safety. Shivering passengers, unprepared for being outside in the cold, were given blankets.
How far do you think you were from the explosion? I don't know.
It felt muffled, so I knew we were not very close to it, but we were close enough that it reverberated throughout our entire body. So I don't know how far.
They said it happened in
Close.
They said it happened in check-in.
Eventually, everyone boarded buses to be driven to a crisis center which had been established at the airport. But at the same time, the Belgian authorities were advising people to stay where they were and not travel. No one knew where was safe. Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel said what we feared has happened. Says authorities are worried there will be more attacks. He said there were many dead, many injured, and border controls had been reinforced. He told a news conference, we realize we face a tragic moment.
Я
We have to be
неожиданно
calm and
смотрела
show
по
solidarity.
параметрам.
There were also expressions of outrage and support from across Europe, as well as increased
Я
security in other
неожиданно
major
смотрела
airports.
по параметрам.
Мне лучше пятна женщина.
But the attacks have again shown how vulnerable transport centers are to suicide bombers.
Он совсем плохо.
Took that to Major General
Надо предложить вам новый увлекательный формат мастер-класса по живописи в компании творческих людей и фантастического вина. Если вы давно хотите написать свою первую картину, или творите и любите писать картины, но лично обожаете творчество личности и вино, тогда вам к нам шикарная компания художников, импровизация. Мастеров тонкого искусства, чувствовать и видеть то, что другие замечают, поможет вам самовыразиться с помощью красок, кистей и холста. Вам представится возможность написать самому то, что хочется именно вам. Забрав картину, повесив ее на самом видном месте своей комнаты, вы еще долго будете вспоминать незабываемый мастер-класс.
Это же Денис.
Так, может, мы это скажем, что мы вас отлично на будущее. Сегодня нас бесплатно. Ого! Нет, ты только уговариваешь. 650 гривен.
I also said on Sky on Friday that just because Abu Salem had been captured, there were still
Каждый
potential
день
blockers there.
по индивидуальной записи.
Каждый день по
Ты
ней.
можешь это побачить, я про вас напишу, а вы дайте нарисовать.
Well, you also think, I mean, on that note, that reports emerged, I don't know where they were sourced, that Abu Salam was prepared to cooperate, was prepared to talk, sending signals out to those that are prepared to act, that perhaps they better act quickly. Well, indeed, now the sophistication of this
Понятно, слушай, ты ничего не рисуешь, не умеешь. Если подвернуть, так я
They may have brought the timeline forward, but this was obviously a plot which was in train already and could therefore be preempted. You've got a number of plots and you have to source all the information and source the explosives, detonation, all those things. You should technically be able to preempt these things.
практика не
It also
говорит,
seems confirmation, if we needed it after Paris, that people with some detailed technological knowledge, some detailed abilities to carry out these kinds of attacks are involved. And the link with Syria, of course. Well, we know that IS are in trouble in both Syria and Iraq. Indeed, there's propaganda that leads us to suggest that what they're trying to do is return and expand. None of those things are happening in Syria and Iraq. So there's a big debate in IS between localism, the gathering of people in those two countries, and globalism.
экскурсия на
So they've got to show
банановом
success.
хлебе.
They can't show success at the moment in Iraq and
Боже,
Syria.
нас
So
согласны
they've got
на
to try and show
то.
success externally in foreign countries, and hitting iconic capital cities is the best way to get that sort of propaganda exposure. we've got one of those in the UK. Should it send a shiver down the spine of the UK security services? We're told that there are several score, if not hundreds, of fighters who've returned to the UK.
Well, the figures were released only last week of those who arrested for counter-terrorism offences, which showed 280 people being arrested in 2015. The last two people who were prosecuted last year were going for a similar plot. They were going to bomb both Westfield and the London Underground. All this comes under the rubric of what we call crowded places. Indeed, since both the 2005 London attacks and the 2007 London and Glasgow airport attacks, a lot of work has gone into making those targets to ensure that the casualties which take place in those are less if such an event occurs.
And with that link to Syria, I mean, are we talking about direct command and control, or is it more freelance? The sense that when you get back to you know what to do.
Well, I would suspect that these are inspired by IS, not directed by IS. Again, if you had that sort of communication at distance, by whatever means, that should be communications intelligence and electronic intelligence, something that someone should be able to read. So I think this is pretty possible.
Okay, so there's all that going on below the line. Is there anything more in terms of overt security that might change, particularly at those transport hubs?
Well, of course, after the event, we always see that people have turned out, security people, to provide reassurance to the population. And indeed, that's sort of what's required because we need to be seen to be the protective state. Being on the streets there, high overt security presence on the streets. You do need clever intelligence, either human intelligence or technical intelligence.
Всему свое время.
Even if you haven't got direct intelligence about an individual or individuals, still have more covert intelligence at airports, indeed on tube trains, on aeroplanes themselves. The plain clothes people who know what to look for.
You can indeed. I would suspect that the ones that we're likely to get in the UK are more lone wolves. Lone wolf attacks are far more difficult to react because you don't get the same triggers as we'd expect when you have a sophisticated plot. And this, because of two locations, comes into that rubric of a sophisticated plot.
Okay, well, let's talk to you, Major General, again. Thank you very much, Richard Chapman, Head of Counter-Terrorism at the Ministry of Defence. Let's take you through what happened inside that terminal. We've got the live shot on there. Straight after the first explosions at the airport, Sky's Alex Rossi was there at the time.
We're all being moved out of the airport now towards the emergency exit. There is a great deal of confusion here. Understandably, there are a number of them, as you might imagine, very upset, very frightened.
Да, Коль.
Again, don't know about
Спасибо, дорогой. Слава Богу. Да. Вот первый этот самый уже реально что вложили. Не просто кричать, не ситуация такая, что
Again, we can't confirm that. We confirmed by the authorities. But we've been moved now, as you can see probably in our live picture, we've been moved towards an emergency exit. I think it's caused to our fears that other attackers, that is clearly what we have seen in the past with terror attacks on European soil. Multiple spectacular
да, и там же и аналитику поставишь, и все это делаешь.
But we're just being sort of shepherded out of the building at the moment. As I say, people very, very frightened, very distressed. We had just gone through checking on main home.
Так в уголочек сел. Блин, как же теперь отключить, а?
Now the explosions I heard, again, it's very hard because the way the building is built up, we're in a shop of things. It's very hard to work out exactly how close you were to the explosion, but it felt felt close. It wasn't just a question of hearing the sound. We felt the sound. We felt the shockwaves of those explosions. So we were pretty close. Another indication is that we saw the sort of dust come from the ceiling and the shelves in the shop we were in. The bottle shuddered on the shelves as well. It was pretty close, but again, it's difficult to say exactly how close. I did try to get towards where we think bombs went off. The people that I saw coming towards me after looked as though they were going through a slightly different security entrance again, heading towards Gate B. In terms of injuries, I've seen people coming towards me, mainly security people, that had their clothes covered in dust. Really shocked. I saw one woman who had a cut above her eye, but again, no real indication, because I think we'd already passed through that area of the check-in. So where we are now is we have moved beyond where the shop started, just after the security where your bag screen, and we've moved towards the gate. We'll just turn the camera around here, for instance, to give people a better idea of the gate. You can see the planes here that would have taken off today, London Heathrow. See the gate number up there, B36. So we're in that area now. It appears at the moment that this is where people will have to exactly what has happened and whether or not the threat is over or whether indeed it is continuing. I was in Brussels for nearly 2 weeks after the Paris attacks, and fear was stalking the streets. People were very, very, very concerned indeed. They knew that the attackers and the plot itself had originated from Brussels. The city was under lockdown. There was a very big military presence on the streets. All of the key institutions had soldiers around them, and people were very, very worried indeed. Now, this time around, we came after Salah Abdeslam, the only surviving attacker, after he was caught in that raid, that very dramatic raid on Friday. And the tension levels seem to have dropped somewhat, and I don't know whether that is because the threat wasn't great. Clearly, if it is a terrorist attack, that isn't the case, or whether it's just that people become inured, people become used to terror. Terror, of course, works by being shocking, being surprising, and when you become more used to that level of threat, I suppose you can't remain at such an anxious and tense level. But having said that, people were still worried. It was still, it was still on people's minds. People you would talk to would talk about the level of military on the streets, the level of security, and these are anxious times indeed. Now that's not. Okay, from what I could pick up, go down.
Саня, я запустить, я не знаю, как его отключить.
Кого?
Как его отключить?
Отключить? А там должна быть кнопка такая.
Вот я смотрю.
Панель управления трансляциями. Нет, это не то. Выше. Нет? Там справа должен быть. Так оно, вы же в эфире, отключать эфир не.
Вот в эфире сейчас идет. Вот оно вот это, единичка. Видишь, оно горит это.
Это не то, блин.
Я не знаю, где убрать ее, блин. Какие-то дебилы сделают, все понакрутят, от простых кнопок.
Так нет, тут что, то Чевеля вот разговаривает.
А нет, то что-то другое. Она идет трансляция, вот горит.
А, камера работает?
Да. Вот она, прямая трансляция есть. Видишь, изерный поток, текущий битрейт. Вот запустить может быть так само, но это другой будет. Я уже тоже смотрел. Тут, вот это сейчас оно. Информация, блядь, ну дебильно, понимаешь?
Ну, сколько если сюда зайти? Ну, не-
Я уже заходил, там тоже. Где вот написано просто, что вот отключить. Ну, вот нахера так усложнять, чтобы потом хер было разобраться.
А тут доступ.
Да нет, он просто не.
Ну, так вот, трансляция оффлайн, все.
Не, это если на вот она идет, вот это. То не, вот он запущен, понимаешь? Сейчас я выключу его, перезагружусь. А тогда он все равно не отключится. А, подожди, если эта камера отключится, он не отключится. Да?
Far away was the results of those attacks and the subsequent work on a metro station cancelled naturally at the airport. We are just hearing from the Reuters news agency that Brussels railway stations are to
Включай. Ну ты разберешься,
reopen
потом посмотришь.
Brussels time.
Я буду сегодня этим заниматься.
With an increase